Hey, what's going on, SWAC fans? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the SWAC podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. On this edition, we're going to be talking about the SWAC Championship matchup. That's right. We're going to be talking about the two teams that are going to be representing for the Southwestern Athletic Conference on this episode. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you very much for choosing the State of the SWAC podcast. And this is a podcast that's focused on the Southwestern Athletic Conference. But let's go ahead and talk about the matchup. All right. These are two teams that it's been a while since either team has been in the SWAC Championship. Representing the West, you have the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions. And first off, I want to say congratulations to Arkansas Pine Bluff and to head coach Doc Gamble and the Golden Lions, because, you know, watching Arkansas Pine Bluff make their way to the SWAC Championship, you know, I have an appreciation for how this team did it. You know, Arkansas Pine Bluff was one of those teams that nobody was really talking about coming out of the SWAC. I mean, everybody seemed to want to talk about the Gremlins and the Southerns and what is Alcorn going to do, and, you know, and Alabama A&M. But nobody was really talking about Arkansas Pine Bluff or if they had the opportunity to even be in the SWAC Championship. This is a team that had a lunch pail type mentality. I mean, these guys put their hard hats on and they went to work. They didn't care about all of the white noise, all of the nonsense that was going on. Everybody probably had Southern, you know, end up, you know, winning that division and coming out of the West. But Arkansas Pine Bluff, they did what they had to do to win. They understand that you don't get any style points for winning. Okay, you don't. You know, all you have to do is win the game. And people were talking about how they was winning, and, you know, they went toe-to-toe with Valley, and we all know Valley isn't that good in football, but it doesn't matter. The fact is they won the games, okay? All that matters is the outcome. It doesn't matter if you win by 20 or you win by 2. They won the football game, and congratulations to them. They knocked off the Prairie View A&M Panthers by a score of 36-31. Their quarterback, Skylar Perry, not Tyler Perry, but Skylar Perry. He had 201 yards passing. He had 4 touchdowns. He also had 1 on the ground. That was his career high. He had 5 touchdowns in the game. And also, man, shouts out to Isaac Peppers, man, the linebacker. This guy was all over the field, man. He accounted for 3.5 sacks. I mean, Prairie View, did you even pinch the dude? He even had the game-winning sack to seal the deal for the Golden Lions. Like I said, a lunch pail mentality. They're going to be representing the West in the SWAC Championship, and congratulations to them. You all deserve it. You showed that hard work and dedication definitely pays off. So hopefully, you know, they go to the SWAC Championship game and make some noise. And their opponent for the SWAC Championship will be the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Now, this is a team that I think a lot of people saw coming because of the great and stellar quarterback play of their quarterback, Akil Glass, a guy who I feel like is going to be playing on Sundays. This guy is special. He can make all the throws. He can read through his progressions. And he does something that I don't really see a lot of quarterbacks coming out of SWAC do. I mean, you only get like a handful. I mean, he actually throws his receivers open. I mean, back shoulder fades. He throws them the ball in stride. The only thing about Akil Glass I feel like he has to work on, especially if he's going to play at the next level, is some of his deep ball passes. Some of the accuracy on his deep balls are a little erratic, you know. But, you know, I've seen a couple plays, especially when I was watching him, you know, go up against Jackson State and also against Alabama State. There was an opportunity where guys could have easily scored touchdowns. You know, I mean, they beat the defender, but he just overthrew them. So I think he needs to work on his deep ball accuracy. His short throws, his intermediate throws are outstanding. So I got a lot of respect for Akil Glass and Alabama A&M. These guys, to me, they're extremely talented offense. I mean, we heard about some of the classic offenses in the NFL, right? the St. Louis Rams were the greatest show on turf. Back in 2012, the New Orleans Saints were also the greatest show on turf. I'm going to give these guys the moniker, the greatest act on grass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the greatest, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen anything like this in a while. You know what I'm saying? This is the greatest act on grass to me. This is one of the best things I've saw. You know, these are the guys who, you know, a lot of people weren't really paying that much attention to. I remember the narrative going into the Jackson State game was, you know, Jackson State wide receivers were better than Alabama A&M's. And my goodness, did those guys rise to the occasion? And it was very little that the defenders of Jackson State could do to stop Alabama A&M. And in this game, I mean, history basically repeated itself. I mean, it was a rout. You know, it started off pretty close. They went to 14-14 at the half. It was tied. And then after that, you know, Alabama A&M, I mean, they just went out there and they just absolutely destroyed these guys coming out of the half. But there, a lot of people are criticizing, you know, everybody, a lot of people are criticizing Alabama A&M because they only played a few games. And some people feel like, oh, you know what I'm saying, they play less games than everybody else. I don't feel like it matters. You know what I'm saying? This is a funny season. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I get more scrimmage vibes out of anything. And I'm not just saying this, you know, just because, you know, I went to Jackson State and they ended up beating Jackson State. That had absolutely nothing to do with this. I would have the same opinion if Jackson State actually went to the SWAC championship. I just feel like I get more scrimmage vibes than anything. But at the same time, it's hard pressed for me not to believe that Alabama A&M is the best team in the SWAC East. It will be hard for me to believe that. The quarterback that they have is outstanding. The wide receivers that they have outstanding. The running back who can run between the tackles and catch out of the backfield is outstanding. And they have a formidable defense. Now, the secondary is a little sketchy, you know what I'm saying, because those guys are young. And with time, they're going to develop into being really, really good. See, the advantage that they actually have is the fact that their secondary is so young. So it gives these guys an opportunity to develop together as a unit. And you start to get into the sophomore, junior, and senior year, and the next thing you know, I mean, you got one of the best secondaries in the entire SWAC because you've been together for so long. But they need to work on that defensively. But those guys, they dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? Like the second half, Alabama State didn't score at all. So that's the direction that you want to go in. Now these teams are on a collision course to the SWAC championship. There hasn't been a location determined just yet. But this is going to be an exciting game. You have a team in Arkansas Pine Bluff that scratch and bites and claws and find ways to win. And then you have Akil Glass and Alabama A&M Bulldogs who haven't really been tested. You know, I mean, I think a lot of the times when you have a quarterback that's above average, sometimes you go into a game a tad bit arrogant, you know, especially since Akil Glass isn't throwing any interceptions. He had another game, we had 3+ touchdowns, no picks. He also, you know, accounted for some running on the ground, which he really doesn't do that much of, but he can if need be. But, you know, teams that have that high-powered offense, they come into games like feeling confident, a little arrogant, you know, feel like they can drop 50 on you like that. But like I said, Arkansas Pine Bluff, they have a lunch pail mentality. And if Alabama A&M just thinks that they're going to come in there and push these guys around, I think they're sadly mistaken. I don't know who is going to win this game just yet. I'll wait later on to break it down. But I do feel like this is going to be an exciting game. I think it's going to be a nail-biting game because, like I said, I mean, you have a team that is determined to prove the naysayers wrong, and you have a team that a lot of people are picking to actually win the whole entire thing. So it's going to be interesting, man. I mean, this is a fine case of maybe like a New York Giant, New England Patriots Super Bowl back in the day, right? You had the high-powered offense of the New England Patriots going up against a team and the Giants where a lot of people felt like, you know, they shouldn't be there, or, you know, they had to fight, scratch and claw their way to there. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the SWAC podcast. Thank you all so much. And I encourage you to check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search The State of the SWAC Podcast, and also on Facebook. You can search The State of the SWAC Podcast. Thank you all so much. And until next time.